On today's show, we are going to answer the question, is right now the perfect time to buy a home in Colorado Springs, or should you wait? There's several factors that will go into this decision, and each one is just as important as the next, so be sure to stay tuned for the entire episode.
I feel as though, is now the right time to buy is always kind of a trick question, and it's very loaded, right? My opinion is that if it is a right time for you to buy, then it's the right time to buy. There are some factors, though, that we kind of want to chat very candidly with you guys about on if you do wait, what that looks like and or what you can take advantage of now with this season.
Yeah, and at the time of this recording, we're headed into October of 2025. This statement...
I think it's actually like the first day of fall or something.
It's pretty close to that. So what we're going to discuss is true pretty much every year at this time of the season, unless there's something crazy going on like COVID. But something to keep in mind is that the seasons are changing. And here in Colorado Springs, when it gets cold and when we get into Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, people don't tend to want to move nearly as bad as they do when school is out and they can transition their entire family before the next school season starts.
Well, and I think that's a big point, right, Sean? When you stop and kind of look at the different seasons, and I talk seasons as in temperature-wise and nature-wise, but then I also talk seasonal when it comes to real estate. More buyers are going to want to purchase a house at the end of the school year when the weather is nice, it's going to be easy to move, and then that way they can get settled in before school starts, right? Now, we are very, very fortunate to have military bases here. And so we kind of see traffic all throughout the years, but it fluctuates, right? There's a higher PCS season in the spring. Troops are still moving, September, October, November, December, right? But it just kind of slows down a little bit. And I think that, what does that mean for you guys when it comes to actually purchasing a house, right? And I don't know, Sean, from your perspective, as a buyer, what are some of the advantages if they were to buy right now?
Yeah, if you're in the position where you can buy right now, I would definitely reach out to Crystal and myself. If you're new to the show, my name's Sean. We've been in real estate for a long time, and we're your Colorado Springs experts. But basically, if you're in a position where you can move during whatever season, but we'll talk about right now, then you're going to have a market where homes have probably been sitting on the market for a little bit longer. And typically when homes sit on the market for a little bit longer, those sellers are willing to negotiate a lot more than they would be if it's only been a week or two on market. They're ready to get to where they're going. Maybe they have a specific deadline or timeline that they have to meet to be to wherever they need to be to. So when you're shopping during this market, October, November, December, even January and into February, then you're going to be able to take advantage of a little bit more negotiation power than you probably would during the spring and the summer market. In addition to that, the prices of the homes are going to continue to drop the longer that they sit on the market because, again, they're probably in a position where they need to make a move now versus waiting 6 months. Not a lot of people can just sit on a home for 6 months, and if they do, then they probably just pull it off the market.
Yeah, and I mean, in all honesty, though, days on market are anywhere from 45 to 65, kind of depending on what area in Colorado Springs you're looking at. So just because a house has been sitting for, let's say, 45 days, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. In fact, that's healthy. That's been a really big change within our industry is that, up until a few years ago, houses were flying off of the market. And if they were on the market for longer than 2 weeks, people are like, it stinks or something's wrong with it or what's going on with it. Now, you guys, if you're on that good old, you should be on our website. So before I go to the Z word, you should just be on our website. We'll link that below. But where you can look at houses for free and just kind of favorite what you're looking for. When you see days on market, it's been on there for 45, 65, 75 days, don't get freaked out about that. Now, like Sean said, if a house has been on the market for 75 days, we probably have a lot better pull to be able to go in with an offer, getting you concessions, getting a price drop. If a house just hit the market day 2, those sellers are still excited. They have patience to kind of wait that out. And so that's a huge advantage to you guys is that our inventory, we have more inventory right now. And it houses are sitting on the market a little bit longer, which allows us to be able to play into seller emotions and their situations a little bit better.
Here's a real life example that just happened yesterday. I showed a buyer a property that has been on the market for, as of today, 361 days.
That is a long time.
That's crazy. Not only did I show him, and you look at Zillow, right? They had 9 photos of the house, which didn't make any sense. Like a corner of a bedroom, half exterior photo. They were taken on a cell phone. There's been no marketing done on this house, I can promise you that. But sometimes these are the diamonds in the rough. We go into this house, when they listed it originally 361 days ago, they had just remodeled it. It was a builder grade remodel, but it has brand new carpet, brand new countertops, brand new appliances, a fully remodeled bathroom, which was actually slightly above builder grade. And there's literally nothing wrong with this property. So this is for an investor. So he's looking at this thing like, I don't even have to do anything to it. They have dropped the price, let me do math, $60,000 over the course of 361 days. And he asked me, how much should we go over asking?
What?
I'm like, insert buyer's name here. We do not need to go over asking, and in addition to that, we're probably not hitting them at asking price because this has been on the market so long, they have to off this property eventually. And if we submit an offer, worst case scenario, they'll probably submit a counter offer and we can get you a great deal on this house that's already a great deal.
Right. So moral to that story, you guys, is first, hire us, 719-238-1771. 2, that if it works for you and your timeline, your financials, you're the only one that knows that, right? You're the only one that knows your financials. Then give us a call. Let us help you walk you through it because now is a really good time. We can get you really good deals. You can score a property without having multiple offers and get in before it really becomes winter.
Whoa, hey.
Be sure to check out our channel. We just recently did a video on new builds, the perks, the dangers, and all the things in between. But one thing that I wanted to mention as well is when you look at new builds, they're the same as a resale market. They are going to build all these homes, then come this season, they're probably going to sit for longer. And at the time of this recording, there are some crazy incentives on new builds. We have seen properties as low as into the 2% interest rates, I should say. That is a builder incentive. That means that you are going to be using their lender. But in addition to that, what you can get in terms of fencing, landscaping, price reductions, blinds, appliances, like there is a plethora of things that you can get on new build incentives during the season as well.
Well, and I will say this, you guys, fall and winter, right? We are almost done with 2025. As a builder, guess what they don't want on their books in 2026, right? So they want to be able to get those houses moved. They want to be able to close before the end of the year, which means that they're willing to take price reductions. They're willing to give those big concessions. You know, we had one buyer where we got all of their closing costs paid. We got their interest rate completely dropped, not to zero. That'd be really nice.
0%.
Sign me up there. No, but we were able to negotiate all of that when the next person that just bought the house right before that didn't get any of that. And so it's a really good season to be able to take advantage of a lot of different incentives. And those incentives change, you guys, every day, all day long. But if you are curious about purchasing a new build or, you know, what does that look like or how long will that take or what incentives are right now, I'm sending one of our buyers. Thank you. You're probably watching our channel from YouTube. This week, some builder incentives for Banning Lewis. So it's like, and those change all the time. So we'll keep you guys updated with what that looks like if you reach out to us and let us know that that's something that you're interested in. So that way we can keep you up to date.
This is a pro tip. Sort of related, sort of not, but it crossed my mind. When the seasons are changing and the grass is dead or the snow is covering the landscaping, if landscaping is at any importance to you and you're watching this from out of state, you're probably not going to put boots on ground to make sure that the property is in the condition that you would like for it to be in, which is where we come in. If landscaping is important to you, because it can be tens of thousands of dollars to do landscaping here, then just ask us, reach out, call us, text us, whatever. We can go to that property and say, yes, there's grass here, it's just dead for the season, or no, there is dirt underneath all of this snow, or whatever that looks like. And in addition to that, the other thing that When it comes to inspection, how would you say it with the cooling systems?
Oh, the AC stuff, because we can't turn on AC when it's 20 degrees.
Right, it's flip-flop. So during the wintertime, ACs won't be tested. So before you go under contract on a property, this is something that we can inquire about just to make sure that if there is anything that you should know about the AC, that we can find that out. You would hate to buy a house here. She mentioned once, I don't know, where do you stand on it? Do you need AC here or do you not?
I need AC.
She mentioned once in a video that she didn't. I think that she didn't have her Red Bull or something that morning because I'm a firm believer you need AC in Colorado.
I think it just depends, Texas and Florida. We just got back from Florida, you guys. And if you live in Florida, comment below and tell me if you love it. I honestly would love to do like a house swap. Have you guys ever heard of that? Where
you're gonna come live at our place?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Sean about any of this, but how cool would it be? I was literally thinking about this today because we were in Florida for a real estate conference, and it's so humid, and everybody was so friendly, so nice. We were in Orlando, if that makes a difference, and I know Orlando is crazy because of all the tourists. But how cool would that be if you swapped places for a week? And you came and lived in our house, and we went and lived in your house, so you can experience what Colorado is like, and we could experience what Florida is like. So if you're down, comment below or text us. That would be really cool. Anyway, back to our show.
You were gonna say something about ACs?
Oh,
inspections.
But yeah, if you're from Florida, every single place that we went to, we had to have a hoodie or a long sleeve because they had the ACs blasted like crazy. So here, the temperatures are not that hot, right? So compared to that, I don't know if you would necessarily think Colorado, you would need AC. I need AC. I'm born and raised here.
If you get a 2-story home with lots of windows and you have no AC, you will hate your life. It got so hot. We had a rental for about a month, maybe a year and a half ago. It was a 2-story in June. And we went to Las Vegas for that week because we could not handle the rental home that we were in with no air conditioning.
You're right.
Transition of moving. Long story short, you need air conditioning in Colorado Springs, regardless of where you're from.
You're right. I never say that he's right, you guys. He's not normally right, but I'll give you credit for that.
Right. All right, so we talked about some of the benefits of purchasing during this season, but let's talk about the real estate headlines and how next year rates are going to continue to drop and you're going to be able to get a much better price or a much better rate on the home that you want to purchase.
I think I've been hearing that headline for years now, but
we have been hearing that headline for at least 18 consecutive months. But we did just recently, at the time of this recording, see a small drop, which makes everybody so hopeful.
But then it went right back up, you guys, so that's fun.
They make everybody so hopeful for the rate drops, okay? But let's say that that's reality. Let's say I have a crystal ball and I can predict that in June of next year, rates are going to be in the extremely low 5%. The reality of that is that just like you have been hearing for such a long time, everyone else has been hearing the same exact thing. So what happens when rates drop substantially like that is it's going to increase buyer demand, it is going to decrease home inventory on the market, and it is going to increase the price of the property that you are looking to purchase. So I am not saying that purchasing June of next year, if that is to happen, is a bad thing. I am just saying that if you were to purchase on your timeline, let's say that time is now, then what you could do in June of next year, if rates really did drop that substantially, is you could refinance your home. And now not only do you have the home that you want, and you did not have to compete nearly as hard to get it, and you probably got some incentives to purchase it, but now you can reduce your rate at that time as well. And, hold on. Let's say that rates don't drop, and that they stay where they're at, or they increase. At least then you know that what you purchased at the time that you purchased was what you wanted to purchase, and that again, you are in the home that you and your family needed. So I'm not saying that waiting until next year is a bad idea. I'm just saying that the cost of waiting can sometimes outweigh the cost of buying if you are in the position to do that.
Well, and I think, you brought up so many good points, Sean.
That was a lot.
And I think it's important because we are not those agents that are gonna force you into buying a house. In fact, we just had clients that decided to rent. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that is a better situation for them, right? We're not those agents. If you're looking for those agents, go somewhere else. So that's not it. But what we are here to do is help you kind of understand first off, our channel is really to help educate you guys all on Colorado Springs, right? Now, because we are local real estate agents and we are experts in our field, we do like to share that with you because I do think that it's so important. You can read so many different headlines that are super scary, or you have people that are like throwing out stupid crap. You guys like marry the rate, date the rate and marry the house. And while I think the small part of it is a little true, it's just ridiculous. And so I will say this, real estate is one of the best investments that you can do. And are there going to be bad years? Yes. Are we going to have, like full transparency? When Sean and I bought a house a few years ago and then sold it, we made a ridiculous amount of money, right? In a very short period of time. That is not realistic. That is not like a normal thing. But real estate will always, for the most part, it's always going to trend up. Now, it may dip a few years, but then it's going to go back up, right?
One of our real estate coaches just mentioned the fact that if you look at any 10-year period in history, real estate has never gone down.
Right.
So yes, there are ebbs and flows, but real estate is one, what you're investing in, right? You don't want to throw your money away towards renting, which if the situation is timed, we rented for a period of time too. But if you can afford to purchase and it makes sense for you and your family, absolutely do it.
Do it.
Real estate is a long game. And if you invest now versus waiting, like I can't tell you how many of my friends and family members have been saying, I'm just going to wait until it gets back to 2%. Every month and every year since then, they've just been throwing their money down.
Well, and I'll tell like a real life story too of one of our really good friends. And we talked the second that I got my real estate license about him getting into a house of his own. And then COVID happened.
8 years ago, but
rates were extremely low, right? Rates were super low. And what happened, and this is kind of what Sean was saying, rates were in the twos. So guess what happened? Bidding wars happened, you guys. So a $250,000 house went for like $320. A $350,000 house went for $400. So then he was like, well, I don't want to pay over the house value, right? Okay, guess what, you guys? He still hasn't bought. Now, if we would have bought 8 years ago, he would have probably had about $70,000 worth of equity. Now he has none. And so,
go ahead.
So it's one of those things to where it's like, will rates go down? Who freaking knows? You guys, it's hopefully, yes, we're all wanting that, but even if they don't, right? Then if you get into real estate, if you make a purchase and you wait out that real estate game, because you can't time it. You cannot time the market. It doesn't work, you guys, because sellers are never gonna make the most amount of money and then turn around and buy a house for the least amount. Right? That's just not how real estate works. Buy the house when a good time is for you, when financially you're good, when now if you're just going to be here for 6 months, don't buy a house, right? Unless you want to turn it into an investment. If you're military and you're only going to be here for 2 years, buy the house and then we can rent it out when you PCS and then you start your rental portfolio. So there's just so many different options, but we want to help guide you in whatever way that looks like. And depending on what season, you could be listening to this in summer, you could be listening to this in fall when we're recording it. We're here to help help you determine what would be the best fit for you.
And I am not being mean to this friend. We have told this friend to his face dozens of times that he has made mistakes in the real estate industry, and he has acknowledged those mistakes. But if 8 years ago, which he was in a position to purchase, he was not in a position where he could...
It's not as though we were forcing it, it was...
Let's say that he did buy 8 years ago at whatever price point and whatever interest rate that was. Say it was 12% interest rate, which I can promise you it wasn't. He could have then refinanced during COVID. He could have done many things during COVID, but let's just say that he focused on just his interest rate and dropped his interest rate. He could then have paid off 8 years of his mortgage up to this point, had a 2% rate, been in a extremely well positioned, which regardless of what price point he purchased at, he would have hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity. Let's flash back that scenario and say that he bought during COVID and slightly overpaid, but was able to lock in a 2% rate. Today, he would still be in a good financial position. The only people that we have seen that are really in a financial position where their backs are against the wall to sell is people that have purchased within like the last 2 or 3 years because rates went up, demand went down, prices of homes have continued to drop. But if they hold on to it for 3 to 4 to 5 more years, they're going to be in a position where they have equity in the home. most likely. I won't say for sure because things can hit the fan.
I mean, and I think a big takeaway too is just like there are foreclosures that are happening every single day, right? A foreclosure is basically where sellers can't pay their mortgage anymore for whatever that reason may be, and so they just stop paying, and then the bank takes it over, sells a property. Short sales are happening every day, and we talk to sellers every day that are in a really, really unfortunate situation. And it breaks my heart, and I don't think I'll ever be able to not get emotional with it, because it does suck, you guys. Because sometimes you might have plans to be able to, you might plan to stay here for 3 years or 4 years, and then life throws you a curveball. You just bought last year, when interest rates are high, so you're paying high prices, your interest rate's high, your mortgage is high, and now you have to sell, and it's not worth what you owe. And that's a short sale, right? So we have to get approval with the bank to say, hey, we're going to sell it, but we can't get what we owe for it. There's all these different situations. So we can't control the what ifs, right? You really can't. You can't time the market. But what we can do is help educate you on what's going on, what you can do, and then you make the decision on what works best for you.
And to answer the question, is now the right time to buy in Colorado Springs? I think the only honest answer is yes, if you are in the position to do so, and no, if you are not in the position to do so. And if you're curious about the market here in Colorado Springs or have questions on if you're ready, maybe you're a first-time homebuyer and have no idea how this process works, or maybe you're looking for your forever home and want to make sure that you don't make a huge mistake by moving here, call us or text us. Reach out to us day or night. This is what we do. We love chatting with you guys, and we love hearing feedback from you. So please reach out, 719-238-1771. We have a ton of other fun content, Colorado Springs related, real estate related on our channel. So be sure to subscribe and check that out too.
I do want to say this though, not related to really is moving to Colorado Springs, but we did go to a real estate conference this last week. And I just have to say the YouTube stuff is kind of Sean's baby. But we really do love being able to connect with you guys and just be able to be that expert for you. And so we love when you engage in our channel. We love when you comment. We love when you text us. We've loved helping a lot of you guys move here to Colorado Springs, even move outside of Colorado Springs to other states. So please just keep us in mind. Comment below and let us know what your favorite thing about our channel is and what you would want to see next.
Subscribe, and until next time, we will see you in the next video.